All right. Thank you all for being here once again. It's great that we can make this debate possible, and I'd like to also thank my opponents for coming. All right, so we are debating the motion that the laws of government should reflect the morals of society. We have defined the morals of society as the agreed upon, well, not as the agreed upon, but we have defined the morals of society as the beliefs that the majority of the United States, since we were discussing the United States federal government, have believe in, and using this, we are inferring that the United States as a whole, we are debating the morality, their morals that that are to protect the basic human rights. My opponent has sort of gotten a bit confused as she's been debating how people have different morals, so people have different morals, so there's no way to make everyone happy, but we already defined the morals of society as one clear definition. So I'd just like you to keep that in mind. I'm going to go through, I will first go through our points again, and add on to those a bit, and then I will address and refute my opponents. Okay, so it is a human necessity for the government to reflect the morals of a society. Without morals in a society, there's absolute chaos. I mean, if the government's saying, every white man should own a slave, then is that fair? Is that fair to have someone treated, as an animal when they are a human being? And that's what the Civil War was fought over. It was fought over how certain states wanted to have the rights to own slaves. And yes, our Constitution has been modified. Our Constitution has been modified to protect rights. And yeah, no, this isn't a bill of morals, but we have defined our society's morals as protecting human rights, which are in the Constitution. Now, if people don't have their rights protected, then there's chaos. If you try to build a society with laws based on some person's arbitrary ideas that aren't necessarily, they don't coexist with the morals of the society he's trying to run, then there's chaos, and you can't deal with that. Our second point was that wars have been fought to protect people from corrupt governments. When a government imposes a law or ignores something that's going on that threatens the safety or threatens the environment of a citizen, people fight over it. There's a reason why people fight over it. People fight over it because they believe in it. I mean, once again, with the Civil War, why do you think that the East Coast, the people who were living on the East were fighting the people in the South? Because they knew that it was the right thing to do, and that they were protecting them from a government that was allowing them to have slaves. Now, our opponents have stated that that moral order isn't fundamental because our government is always changing and modifying things. And you're right. We didn't always have the Bill of Rights. The Bill of Rights was added to protect people, to say this is what people deserve and what people need as human beings, and this is what we should have in our society. We want to have a free nation. And in order to have a free nation, we need to respect people as human beings and give them what they deserve as human beings. And our opponents are completely right. I mean, in that fact, that our Constitution has been modified. Our government changes things all the time, and they do it to protect people. They do it to reflect what the people want, because we are a republic, and a republic is where people elect they elect politicians to reflect their views, to advocate for them and what they believe in. And that's the way our society is set up. Now, if we look on value systems, there are 5 different value systems that support that the laws of government should reflect the morals of society. Constitutionalism, because it is in our Constitution that people should be able to be advocated for by politicians who are reflecting their beliefs, and that people should have their basic rights protected. In Americanism, these are ideas that we have as Americans. We believe that people should be free. We believe that people should have these rights, and that people should have a government that respects what they believe in. Individualism. as a person, would you like it if somebody stripped away everything you believed in? Everything that your neighbors believed in, everything that, people around you believed in, everything that the politicians advocating for you believed in? Would you like it if the government said, okay, you don't have the right to free speech anymore? And everyone you know agreed that, yes, it's immoral to do that. It's individualism. It hurts you as an individual, and it hurts you as a society. Now, in secular humanism, these are things that we have agreed that as people we need. We need to have these rights, and as our definition of morals is the protection of these rights, that's what we need. And moral order, this is what we're debating. Moral order agrees that moral order is important. It's 5 value systems. It's 5. Now, our opponents' points were basically what they used to refute us. The government's always modifying that. I already discussed that. Wars were started because of law of morality. I'm not quite sure what she meant by that, because if a government is trying to create laws based on what one person thinks is moral, then that's a dictatorship, and we're discussing the United States federal government. So that's rather irrelevant. 3 is that we all have different views, and what one person's morals may not coincide with another person's morals, but we've already defined morals of society, not morals of an individual that conflicts with another morals of an individual that conflicts with another moral of an individual, and the government should try to please everybody. We defined morals of society. And their 4th point was that everything changes to make things better. Their government changes things to make things better. Our government, I agree, our government changes things to make things better for our society. Because that's what we need. We need to advance as a society, and we can't if we are having things stripped away from us. Thank you very much. I urge you strongly to vote in favor of the proposition.
All right, thank you for being here today, everyone, for making this debate possible. I'm just going to jump right in here. Something that was kind of confusing, apparently, between the opposition and the proposition was the proposition's definition of morals. When they first stated it, they said something about strongly held personal morals that reflect the majority of society. That's what I heard. And then their second speaker got up here and said that it was the morals, that it was just the morals of the majority of the society, that it was protecting those rights of the majority of society. So, little confusion there. I'm going to kind of argue both points because I don't really know which definition they're talking about. First, I'm going to actually jump in and do the first, and refute their first 2 points. Sorry, not this time. And their first point was protection. When our ancestors got here, they came up, and after getting food and water, the first thing they did was set up a moral government, and set up banks, and do all that cool stuff, right? Well, as we've already stated, they keep changing, and they're going to keep changing. An example of this is gay marriage. California is legalizing gay marriage, and maybe in 10 or 20 years, or even just 5 years, it'll be a federal law that same-sex marriage is legal. And they said they said that without morals, it's chaos. It's chaotic. And they talked about the Civil War and how it was fought because these people, the North, wanted to abolish slavery in the South, and because they didn't think it was right. But taking a step back from how awful we all know slavery is, it's still, the entire war, the entire Civil War was started because the U.S. government wanted to tell other people that their law wanted to make a law reflected on the morals of the Northerners. That's why the most terrible war in U.S. history, well, more disgusting and graphic war when you get taught about it in classrooms, other than maybe the world wars, was fought. It was because the government tried to do exactly what the proposition is suggesting. How do we know that's not going to happen again? you. So just going to jump in. Their definition that their second speaker said was that it protects the rights of the individuals or the majority. It reflects what people want, the morals of society, right? Well, right now, most of the population in the U.S. is Christian. So let's say that we adopt the morals of society, the morals of major society, which is Christian morals. First of all, that's going to take away people's right to freedom of religion. Excuse me, not at this time. And second of all, we're going to base our laws off those morals, so abortion. What happens when we base a law off the major morals of society and we legalize abortion? We've got people getting back alley abortions, dying from botched surgeons who don't know what they're doing in an alley behind a church or something like that. You've got people having babies and not wanting them and abusing them and hurting them and ruining society. You've got and it's going to lead to either overpopulation of some really messed up kids or overcrowded prisons from those people who had those back alley abortions and were thrown in jail. I'll take your POI at this point.
Well, you were discussing if we adopt Christian morals or we adopt religious morals, but we already define the morals of society as the common American beliefs that the rights of the people should be protected. We're not discussing religious morals.
No, but the common American is Christian. So if we pick up, excuse me, not this time. What I'm saying is that, yeah, you're saying that we should pick up the morals of the common American. But if I were to take a poll in this room right now, I'd say, okay, maybe 3 out of 5 of us are Christian. What if we adopted, or Catholic, what if we adopted those morals? That means no abortion, that means no same-sex marriage, that means no, gosh, I don't know Christian morals. But it's true. I will take one of your POIs at this moment.
Once again, you're discussing religious morals, and when in my partner's first speech, she stated that the common morals of society are in America that human rights should be protected. We are discussing the morals that human rights should be protected.
And I'm telling you how it relates. I'm telling you, yes, you're right. We're talking about the individual rights and the common society, and I'm telling you how it relates to this factor. What could happen if we accept this? If we accept that the laws of government should reflect the morals of society, what happens if we accept that? Then this could happen. That could happen. This could be legalized. These people could be thrown in jail. The world is overpopulated. What happens then? Now, whose morals are we talking about? The morals of society? The morals of you, the morals of me, the morals of a Jew, the morals of a Catholic, the morals of an atheist, the morals of someone who believes that we should all stomp on pigs and run around in yards naked. Whose morals are we talking about? Who is society? The society is the majority of society. Now, what happens when we reflect the morals of society, the majority of society? What happens to the minority? What happens to those people who are Jewish, who are Muslim, who are atheists? What happens to those people who get pregnant when they're 16 and want to have an abortion, but we can't because we're focusing on the majority. We're focusing on